And welcome to this We the People special focusing on America's countdown to the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. I'm Rachel DePompa. That milestone will be commemorated on July 4th, 2026, and Virginia is playing a big part in the year-long celebration. Desiree Montilla shows us how.
The Virginia 250 Commission says every locality across the Commonwealth will take part in this initiative with the mission to tell how America was made in Virginia.
Virginia's history is everywhere. It is America's story.
Cheryl Wilson is excited to be part of the Virginia 250 Commission as we count down to the nation's 250th next year.
It's going to take us to these sites that are have the power of place, where our nation was founded and where we now go to continue the work of forming a more perfect union.
The General Assembly established the agency in 2020 as a statewide commemoration to engage and educate people on what made America happen right here in Virginia.
The 250th in Virginia is really a moment for us all to come and reconnect with our country in the place that started it, with the ideas and the leading figures.
Over 2,000 events will form this connection, giving people a chance to visit museums and historical sites to learn about this history.
Whether we're going to be at Monticello, Mount Vernon, Colonial Williamsburg, Red Hill, anywhere across the state, when you visit those sites, you're really connecting with the places that helped form what brings us together now as Americans.
This series will also hit the road in this mobile museum.
When you go through that exhibit, you understand, again, the founding of our nation, the ideas and the ideals that were put in place that make us uniquely Americans.
For Wilson, this moment means the world, inspiring everyone to continue America's story for future generations.
The Founding Fathers knew there's more work to be done, and each generation has continued that work, and it's in our hands to continue it for the future.
All the events taking place throughout the next year will be on VA 250's website. You can find a link to it on our website, 12onyourside.com. In Richmond, Desiree Montilla, 12 on Your Side.
Thank you, Desi. We have a closer look now inside that mobile museum. The interactive exhibit on wheels highlights the impacts of the Commonwealth, especially during the early years of our country. It's a hands-on, immersive experience that shows you the role your community played in history, including during the American Revolution.
The American Revolution has really not been something that we've focused on in the past, and it provides us an opportunity to really educate the public about the battles that were fought here in Chesterfield County during the Revolution.
The museum has already made stops all across the Commonwealth, including in Chesterfield and at the State Fair of Virginia. If you want to see the mobile museum's next stop or just learn more about the Virginia 250 celebration, visit our website, or you can also check out the official site. That is va250.org. You can see events planned through 2026. Well, the U.S. Navy was founded on October 13th, 1775. That 250th birthday was celebrated at the Virginia War Memorial. The party included a reenactment of John Paul Jones, who was often referred to as the father of the American Navy, as well as words from Governor Glenn Youngkin and others. Joel Vasquez takes us there.
The U.S. Navy celebrating a momentous milestone, 250 years of service.
Heed my call! Come to the sea! Come sail with me!
The ceremony opening with an actor playing John Paul Jones, a naval officer during the Revolutionary War who's often referred to as the father of the Navy.
We have gathered to remember. We have gathered to celebrate with pomp and pageantry by word and deed this historic occasion.
The amphitheater at the Virginia War Memorial filled with dozens of people, many of them Navy veterans, including Virginia House Speaker Don Scott.
You cannot talk about the 250 years of the Navy without talking about Virginia. This is where it all began. Greatness grew from these Virginia waters.
Governor Glenn Youngkin even sharing his remarks at the celebratory occasion.
Because for 2.5 centuries, the United States Navy has stood watch Our Navy has guarded global commerce, deterred great power rivals, and delivered humanitarian aid.
This ceremony also included a passing of the torch between veterans and junior ROTC members from James River High School, where they exchanged this special edition Navy 250 coin.
And it is important to show them we're here for them, to support them, and we are happy that they're there and willing to do this, to serve their country.
And of course, no birthday celebration would be complete without cake. John Paul Jones cutting the first slice with his saber.
That was Joel Vasquez reporting. The U.S. Marine Corps is already turning 250 years old. The Virginia 250 Commission marked that milestone with reenactments, patriotic music, guest speakers, and of course, some cake. Governor Youngkin told the crowd we must never forget the Marines past and present who have fought for our nation's freedoms.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for fighting and winning our nation's battles. Happy birthday, Marine Corps. Semper Fi.
Now, both of those ceremonies were held at the Virginia War Memorial in downtown Richmond. It is a great place to visit on any day to read about the men and women who have served and the rich history that surrounds us all. Visit vawarmemorial.org to plan your visit. Well, our countdown to the country's 250th birthday also looks at some of the darkest chapters of our history, and that includes a deadly train tunnel collapse here in Richmond a century ago. I'll introduce you to a man whose relatives were inside when everything came crashing down. Stay with us.
In a world full of headlines, it's the quiet heroes who remind us of what really matters.
She's just such a giving person.
Each week in our Acts of Kindness segment, 12 on Your Side honors everyday people going above and beyond to make our community a better place.
I know he's always there if I had a problem.
Now, we want to hear from you. Nominate someone who's making a difference, because kindness is contagious and always worth celebrating.
It's a grim chapter in Virginia history, the Churchill train tunnel collapse. It happened 100 years ago, killing 4 men. Even now, the bodies of 2 of those men and the steam locomotive involved in this are still trapped underground. I spoke with one man whose father and grandfather were inside the tunnel when it caved in.
Inside a fence on the private property of an apartment complex sits a piece of hidden Richmond history, the sealed-off entrance to an old train tunnel. Weathered by water still seeping from the inside, its mossy and clay-burnt appearance a reflection of the time that slipped away on this sealed tomb of tragedy.
They were working at this entrance, which is a west portal. My grandfather is a gentleman sitting on the left-hand side, and my father, who was a laborer, is sitting on the timber being cut.
Richard Glenn's family was inside this tunnel entrance at 19th and East Marshall Streets 100 years ago, when something went horribly wrong.
It started out on the afternoon of October the 2nd, 1925. It was 3:20 p.m. in the afternoon. It was a cool and rainy day in Richmond.
The Churchill Tunnel was completed back in 1873, making it one of the longest tunnels in the U.S. at the time. But while being repaired on that fateful October day, nearly 200 feet of the tunnel collapsed as a steam locomotive and 10 flat cars were passing through. This is a photo of the actual train that's now trapped beneath Churchill.
Bricks started to fall from the ceiling of the tunnel.
The walls caved in, trapping the engineer and others inside.
Tom Mason was trapped in the car because dirt and debris came through the window and mashed up against him.
Richard Glenn's father and grandfather were about 1,500 feet from the disaster.
Vibration, which went through the tunnel and warned them that something had happened in the tunnel, and they started to run over to the east end.
Another man, Ben Mosby, was severely scalded by steam from the locomotive's boiler. Miraculously, he reached the eastern entrance. Even though he escaped the unnatural burial, he could not escape death, which came for him that night in the hospital. Glenn's father helped in the rescue efforts. For days, they worked to construct vertical shafts. His father would go inside one to find the body of Tom Mason.
Harold Glenn went down into the shaft, and with the help of another laborer, he removed the body, Tom Mason's body, from the chair and placed it on a horse, which raised the body to the top of the ground surface.
This is the first time Richards ever visited the tunnel entrance.
I'm surprised that it's on private property and that, that it looks so much different than the picture that I have of them at the entrance to the tunnel.
The railroad deemed the removal of the train too expensive and unsafe. Instead, the tunnel was sealed shut on both ends, forever locking the bodies of at least 2 men and a crushed train inside. But this is not the end of the line for Richard Glenn. He wants to make sure this part of Richmond's history is never forgotten.
I think they should remember those that were killed, like Tom Mason and his family, and Ben Mosby and his family, and the other 2 gentlemen that were never found, Robert Lewis and H. Smith.
Glenn was 82 years old when I did that interview with him. It was the 95th anniversary of the collapse at the time. He really wanted to be here for the 100th anniversary. Sadly, he passed away in July. It was an honor to meet Glenn and share his story with you. You can learn more about this remarkable part of our history in a special bonus episode of our How We Got Here History podcast. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon. It's even on YouTube. Virginia's story is also being told on canvas. The governor's mansion is displaying multiple paintings depicting key moments in Virginia and America's history. Find out how you can see it in person next. And now we're taking you inside the Virginia Executive Mansion, where the state's role in America's history is being told through artwork in a new exhibit called Made in Virginia. Henry Graff got an exclusive sneak peek before the artwork went public. Take a look.
Get ready for a real Americana experience at the Virginia Executive Mansion. The home to the governor and his family is once again opening its doors and letting you come in and check out the historic home, along with new artwork telling Virginia's part in America's history.
What people will see here is the direct impact that the history of the leadership of Virginia had on the history of the leadership of our nation.
America, Made in Virginia is a collaboration with the Virginia 250 Commission. That's the group spearheading all state celebrations leading up to America's big birthday next year. Judy Bolin is the co-chair of art experiences at the residence.
And in this case, we tried to strike a really good balance between historic artwork and contemporary interpretation of the themes that were established at the birth of our country.
On the walls of the Executive Mansion, you can see all types of artwork from all types of people. This one is called The Courtship of Washington, dated 1758. And then this one showing 6-year-olds saluting the American flag in Huntington from 1920. Or even this photo capturing Eleanor Roosevelt christening the America in Newport News, the largest passenger ship in the nation at the time in 1939. There's also this moving portrait called The Prayer at Valley Forge. Painted in 1975, it depicts George Washington making a solitary prayer during the Continental Army's winter encampment.
So that's something that we really are very proud of, and something that we think will excite people when they visit to see other Virginians' interpretation of the world and the Commonwealth in which they live.
This is the fourth iteration of the art experience at the Executive Mansion since the Youngkins moved in. And most of them have featured one artist in particular. Queen Stovall is famous for depicting everyday events in the lives of both white and black families in rural settings. She's also Judy's grandmother.
I like that her whole body of work is basically a historical representation of a bygone life.
There's also a time capsule on display. Soon it will be buried under Washington's statue in the Virginia State House to be opened 250 years from now.
This is its twin. Inside of it is dirt that was harvested from Mount Vernon, along with a proclamation from the governor.
If you'd like to come out here to the Executive Mansion yourself, check out the artwork that is on display here. You can do that on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. On Your Side in Richmond, I'm Henry Graff, 12 On Your Side.
Thanks, Henry. One of Richmond's most elegant hotels is marking a major milestone. The Jefferson Hotel opened 130 years ago in October 1895. It was imagined by Richmonder Louis Genter, who amassed a fortune marketing rolled cigarettes. The $5 million construction project welcomed its first guests on a rainy morning. And the Jefferson's history is full of winding tales, including fires, closures, Elvis, even alligators. Intrigued yet? Well, you can learn more on episode 4 of season 4 of our history podcast, How We Got Here. Also in Richmond, Maymont is celebrating its 100th anniversary as a public park. Maymont, with its mansion, lush gardens, and beautiful views of the river, was created by James and Sally Dooley, who lived there from 1893 until 1925. The Dooleys bequeathed the land and mansion to the city of Richmond upon their death, ensuring it be used as a public park and museum. Maymont opened its gates to everyone in 1926. Another iconic Richmond spot is marking its 100th anniversary, the Boulevard Bridge, also known as the Nickel Bridge to many of us. It was built in 1925 to connect the north side and the south side. In those early days, people paid a nickel to cross, and even as the toll increased over the decades, many of us still refer to it as the Nickel Bridge, which as of today costs 10 nickels or 50 cents. The Revolutionary War reached Chesterfield in the late 1700s, and now some historic markers are up revealing what happened in our own backyard as America was just beginning to form. That story is next.
Unlocking your business potential takes the right digital strategy and the right partner. At Gray Digital Media, we're that partner you can trust because we know local. We develop the right message to grab attention and drive leads with custom strategies designed to grow your brand and reach your customers across the streaming apps you know best. Your business will show up in the social feeds we all use every day, and we'll help you leverage the power of Google and talk to the right audience on YouTube. Our marketing experts connect you with customers right here in Richmond and wherever your audience is. Together, we'll find new customers and get results that matter to you and your business. Cutting-edge strategies backed by local expertise. That's the Gray Media difference. We know local. Let's connect today. gdmrichmond.com.
So what's the plus in 12 on Your Side Plus? It's everything extra we're adding to your news experience. More breaking news, more first alert weather, and more transparency. It's also more local news as we launch 12 on Your Side Plus at 6:30 p.m., the only streaming newscast at 6:30 in Central Virginia. I'll take you behind the headlines, share how stories develop, and give you the context that keeps you informed. It's everything extra. It's 12 on Your Side Plus. Download the 12 on Your Side app and watch us wherever you stream.
Thank you for watching 12 on Your Side.
Welcome back. Chesterfield County played a pivotal role in the American Revolution, and now there are 3 historic markers to help share that story. Charisse Hoffman was there for the unveiling.
Here at the historic Castlewood, there is so much history, and county leaders say that these 3 signs mark a significant step in sharing the important and vital history that is somewhat overlooked here in this area. When you walk on the Castlewood Green, you're stepping into history. This very land was once a Continental Army barracks in 1780 and 1781, where the American Revolution came to the doorstep of Chesterfield County.
Many people understand and know about the impact of the American Civil War on the county, but we have never before had any work that was achieved, any research that led to any interpretive signs that focus on the American Revolution.
That's no longer the case. 3 different interpretive signs were unveiled. The first honors women at Chesterfield Courthouse Barracks who served as laundresses to soldiers. The second pays tribute to Chesterfield Courthouse Continental Army Barracks. It was a hospital for Army recruits. The third tells the story of Virginia's black soldiers of the Revolution who volunteered to fight along white soldiers for independence.
They invite us to stand where patriots stood and consider the sacrifices made 250 years ago to secure the freedoms we enjoy today.
The unveiling also had music, reenactors that made you feel like you were right back there 250 years ago. The county's hope is that this once forgotten part of Chesterfield's history will always be remembered.
When the 250th commemoration is over, that these interpretive signs will serve as a legacy project for future generations to really cherish and really understand the impact that this war had on the county.
Now, these signs right here are only the beginning. In the next 5 to 6 years, more of them will be placed in other important areas in Chesterfield County that serve a role and mark the importance of the battles that were fought here. And they hope that in the end, when people come visit, they learn more and take that history with them. In Chesterfield County, Cherise Hoffman, 12 on your side.
Thank you, Cherise. So I want to share a few websites with you that you may want to keep tabs on as we count down to the big 250th celebration. Take a look at your screen, jot these down, take a picture with your cell phone. We told you about va250.org, which lists all of the events happening across the Commonwealth. But check out America250.org for places to visit and events happening across the country and in Washington, D.C. You can also find stories and in-depth coverage on our website, 12onyourside.com. And it is worth mentioning one more time our history podcast, How We Got Here. This is a history buff's dream come true. It's actually narrated by me. There are 6 seasons available right now, dozens of episodes for you to binge, and you can listen wherever you like to enjoy your podcast, Spotify, Amazon, whatever place you go for podcasting. All right, thank you so much for spending time with us for this We the People special. We do hope you enjoyed it and learned something new about the history that is all around us. I'll see you next time.